What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Masterpiece movie series MPM-10 Starscream. So this was actually a Target exclusive, very interesting. It's the first retail Masterpiece figure we've gotten since Toys R Us has gone out of business, at least here in the United States. Most of the toys we were getting from Hasbro Takara Tomy were only from Toys R Us. There really was no other place to go to a store and physically buy this. I went to like a comic shop or something like that. But so I wanted to take a look at this, and my buddy Ultra Jazz, who is a subscriber on this channel, but also just a friend who sent me a few things so far. He sent this to me, so thank you, Ultra Jazz, for sending this to me for review. I appreciate it. Well, let's take a look at this. Get some nice details. You'll see I'm pretty far zoomed in, and that's for a reason, because my background is normally this silver, and actually, you know what? I'll just back out so you can see it's got this, camouflage look to it. And unfortunately, this plane is camouflage, so it blends right in. So I'm going to try to show him off without that background. But pretty nice details here. You got camouflage paint details here on the top, on the side. You got nice translucent cockpit. The cockpit doesn't open up, but there is some detail in there. You can see there's a seat and, some dashboard, stuff like that. Going on to the side, you do have intakes here, although they're a little broken up, but you have intakes there. I don't know if this is a real, I guess it's supposed to be F-22 Raptor, but obviously, there's a lot of stuff hanging off, but that's how they look in the movie. Pretty nice detail. You got that nice gold paint here on the back. You have the edge paint all the way around on every wing. That looks really nice. You do have the UASF logo here. You've got the United States Air Force. I think you get a Decepticon logo on the Studio Series. And actually, let's bring in the Studio Series here. Here's the Studio Series. Here you've got the Decepticon logo, which is interesting. I don't think they, I guess it's officially licensed, I don't know, by United States Air Force. It's got their logo. But all pretty nice looking jet here. Actually, you know what? Let's bring him in. Quite a big size difference for the Studio Series. You can see much bigger in pretty much every dimension. So nice size here. It does feel like, Masterpiece scale. Let's bring in some Masterpiece figures for comparison. So there he is with a couple of Masterpiece cars. You got the Masterpiece Sideswipe and the Fans Toys version of Wild Rider. Pretty good looking size. It seems like a good scale. I mean, this is the movie Masterpiece, so I don't have any other movie Masterpiece figures, but I think it looks pretty good with these cars. Obviously not to scale in real life, but good enough for a shelf. All right, let's take a look at some of the features you get here. So you do have landing gear. The front landing gear is right here, and it actually pegs in, just like that. And then the rear landing gear is right here, folds out of his legs. There, and there. And it does sit on those wheels. It does roll very smoothly, and that looks good. You can articulate these little engine pieces here. You can have them up and down. I don't know if it's meant to articulate, but you can do it. And there, it does look like, rocket boosters or something like that. You can also attach his weapons, so you get this Gatling gun, which I think it is intended to go right here. You can also put it in the front if you like it all the way forward. Me personally, I think that's too far forward, so I like to put it right there. I think that looks good. And it does spin. This Gatling gun does spin. That's nice. And then you get these two things which mount underneath. So you can put one on this side. You can put one on the other side. So this is the other weapon. And there you go. You get missiles with a whatever, I guess a sword end or axe end. Then you get this spinning blade there, which is pretty neat looking actually. I mean, it kind of breaks up the look of the plane, but it is neat that they give you those, and they do mount in. I always appreciate when they have storage for the weapons in the vehicle mode. So that's really it for the vehicle mode. I think it does look nice. Just quickly with the Studio Series, you'll see this was highlighted all the way around with the white border all the way around the wings and the nose cone, whereas they used the more accurate gray and silver on this one. Also, this one doesn't really have any paint. This one's got that camo paint that makes it look a lot more like the movie. So I think they did a good job on that camo paint. But I just wanted to show that. We will show this in the robot mode when we get there. Alright, so let's get this guy transformed. There's nothing really else to look at here in the vehicle mode. And when you take these weapons off, it does tend to open these up, but that is actually necessary for transformation. So get those weapons off of there, and you can actually open these up and just leave them forward like that. And you can push the landing gear back down on both ends. Okay. I'm going to have to back up here. Unfortunately, you're going to have to see the ugly background a little bit, but that's how it's going to be today. Go ahead and unpeg the legs. They're pegged in right here. You're going to get those out, and it's also pegged in underneath, so it's kind of a lot of places to peg it. Go ahead and pull them apart, and then you can fold them down. And just leave them down for now, out of the way. We're going to work on this a little bit later. Okay, now that you've gotten that out, you're going to get all this arm pieces out, and they are messy. It's just no other way to say it. They're supposed to peg in on the back here, but they really don't do a great job of doing that. Go ahead and just fold those out, and then you can just let those sit there for a minute. And we'll take care of the legs first, because that's kind of the easiest part. Alright, so go ahead and rotate here so you get that to the front. You can pull down on this, and you'll see there's a tab right here that's going to tab into the bottom of the thigh, and then you can let go of that knee piece, and it is spring loaded. Go ahead and fold the foot down, rotate the calf, and then rotate the foot all the way back, pull up on this piece here, and then push that in. And it should lock in both in the front and the back. You want to really lock it in both, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. I just want to show you make sure you lock both parts in. Okay. Basically the exact same thing on this side, so we're gonna do that off camera. Now I've got the legs together, we can start working on the rest, and I just had to get the camera adjusted because it's gonna be kind of tall and I don't want to be off camera. So there is a lot of stuff kind of hanging off, but we're going to get it going here. So go ahead and get these arms out of the way, just fold them out, and that'll give you some space. These two tabs are going to go into the back of the legs, so go ahead and fold the legs up and get that pegged in. You know, this one thing that can help you do the rest is locking those in. It gives you just some stability. You can see that the back already came off, so go ahead, pull the back off, and this is going to fold downwards. Open up this panel here, and that's where this is going to fit down and lock into here. So go ahead and close that down, tab that in. Open up this cockpit here, pull out these two panels, which are going to be locking pins for later. Pull the head out and flip that up, and then push this in. Okay, and then we can take these panels on the side and fold those down. Just fold those down first. Same on this side. Take this panel out and fold those down. And you should have something like that. Make sure you tuck the head back in. Okay. Now we get to care of the back, and the back is kind of interesting. So go ahead and put the wheel down. That's going to make a tab for the back to go into. Go ahead and take the back. It just looks like a mess, but Fortunately, that's the way it is. Go ahead and fold these pieces downwards, and then fold that back onto itself, and that's going to tab in right there where I showed you the wheel goes together. These wings are going to fold upwards onto his back, and we'll take care of that in just a second. There's more to do there. These boosters you can just kind of set back here and then close those up. Oh, actually, you know what? Pull this out. That's just a detail for his back. And then these side pieces here is what's going to lock this backpack in. So go ahead and lock those in. And you're pretty much done with his backpack there. You can just kind of, that's all going to move around on you. So just leave it as best as you can. Oh, up front you should have closed this already. Okay. Now we're looking pretty good. We got to finish the arms. Go ahead and open up these panels here. And that should be straight out. And then close these up and they should tab right in. Same on this side. Open up this panel here. Should be straight out, and then close this up. And that's his back wings. And those can just sit just like that. Now we take care of the kind of complicated, annoying part, the arms. And they are very awkward to work with. But so you want to kind of have them positioned so that this piece right here is going to end up going into this tab. And that's how you're going to get yourself oriented. Otherwise, you just get lost in this sea of parts. It's just a mess. And the other thing that's going to tab in is right here. So you're going to fold this little peg outwards, and that's going to go into the slot right there. So if you can orient yourself around those two things, that'll really help you. So go ahead and put this tab in first, and that's just going to slide right in. You can just do that with a finger. Or so it seems. There we go. Okay. And that just slid right in. If you need a little bit of extra, you can use a spudger. I didn't need one. And then you're going to take this and tab that into here. And that makes kind of his abs, I guess. This wing should just be sitting right there. It doesn't really tab in or anything. Go ahead and take the arm, rotate it downwards. This piece is going to go up and over. And then this piece is going to make his, I guess, elbow. So just push that into there like that. Fold out the hand. And this actually has to flip around this way. Fold out the thumbs, and then you can leave that there. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had a little bit of a camera outage, overheated. So we just finished up this arm here, just like we did on that side. And here you have MPM Starscream in his robot mode. Pretty weird looking, but movie accurate for sure. Let's take a quick 360. There is quite a bit of paint. Actually, let's just point out the paint right now. So you've got paint on this front thigh. You've got paint here. All this silver is painted. You've got paint on the arm. You've got this red detail here inside the arm. These are die cast right here. Just this one piece right here. And that's got, I don't know if it's a silver finish or a wash or something, but it's got like this two tones to it. On the front, you've got gold paint all in here. The head does rotate up and open. So you can open and close the mouth that much. That's really it. But all this is painted. The gold, the silver, that's all painted. This is not, but all of this internal stuff is here. This detail here is painted. Going to the back, you do have these engines. They tend to move around as you're messing with this guy, but these are painted as well. I showed you the body in the vehicle mode, so you know about that paint. So all in all, pretty nicely painted guy. He's got a lot of nice details on him. I think he does look good compared to the movie, and it's very accurate. You can attach the weapons that you had in the vehicle mode. So go ahead and open up this. You're going to take the hands and you're going to fold them over on itself. basically down that way, and then fold the thumbs inwards. Then go ahead and take the gun and tab it into the side of the arm first, like that, and then tab it to the front of the hand. And it is pretty secure in there. I thought it might fall because it's heavy, but it doesn't. It stays in. And then you can also take the other one, same thing. And there you go. He's got his spinning blade and his missile slash whatever knife weapon. You can take the Gatling gun and attach it. There's a little spot in the back. I don't know if they thought of this or if it's just circumstance, but you can attach this right here. Little gun storage there. So that's nice. So all the weapons fit in both modes, which is a nice added detail. Let's take this off just so we can do articulation on this guy. So the head does go up to there, and you've got that little Hasbro-like detail where they have that extending piece that doesn't give up the sculpt. The mouth opens that much. The head does rotate all the way around. It's on a very tight, I believe it's just a rotation joint, no ball joint. There's that. You do get a shoulder joint here. You kind of got to move this out of the way, but you can get the shoulder up to there. And it rotates all the way around. You don't get a rotation at the bicep, but you do get a bend at the elbow. It goes up to there. Actually goes back too. You do have this movement here, but it tends to make things unpeg, but you have a little bit of butterfly right there. If you push everything together, you know, you can kind of make it look more cohesive, but you do have that movement there. Moving downwards for the hand, you can, and we'll talk about the stability a little bit later. You do have this joint here, and that is also for the transformation for the gun. The thumb is on a pin that goes all the way around, and it's on a rotation this way. So you got quite a bit of movement. And then these fingers are just on a single pin. They are rubbery. They're not hard, and they don't feel so great, but they're not going to break, I guess is a good way to put it. And I think in the official images they have his hand like this. Okay, moving downwards, no ab crunch or rotation. You do have a thigh rotation here, which is actually part of the transformation. You have a knee bend that goes up to there. Sometimes this comes unpegged, so there's a peg right there, but sometimes that does come unpegged. You have a spring-loaded thing here, so if you move that out of the way, you can get it back a little bit more. I don't know why you do that, though. You have a bend here at the ankle, or I guess the first ankle, and then this ankle is where things really are not well done. So it's locked in right now, and that's what you want, otherwise it's very unstable. You can unlock it, and then you get this ankle tilt, but it's extremely loose, and that doesn't work, so you got to have it pegged in. That's really the only way to use this. This is die cast down here. This whole foot is die cast. The front is die cast. The back is rubbery plastic. You can unpeg it from the front, so you can get it back like this, and you can unpeg it from the back, so you can get it forward like this. The problem with that is then it becomes completely unstable and it can't stand. So you got to peg it in on both for it to actually stand. So there he is with the Masterpiece Megatron. Again, I don't have any Masterpiece movie series figures, but about the same size as Megatron. And then here is the Studio Series version. It looks like he's been through a little bit of trouble here, but far superior, right? You got a lot of more detail. I mean, it's missing a lot of colors and stuff like that, but also just the legs themselves are very loose on this guy. And at least it's got ratchets this time. So it is a masterpiece, but it's still, you know, a good upgrade from this Studio Series figure. So final thoughts on this guy. It's a mixed bag for me. So this is the return of Masterpiece to retail. So I appreciate that a lot. The fact that Takara Tomy and Hasbro are releasing things here for us to buy. With that being said, I don't recommend this figure. and the reason being, there are some fatal flaws that keep you from enjoying it, especially in the robot mode. The vehicle mode is actually quite nice. It's very close to the movie, and it looks really good. It's got some nice details. And actually, the robot mode has some nice details as well. That paint and all those little details come through. But there's fatal flaws with the articulation. The arm, for example, doesn't have a bicep swivel, so you can't get this in and out. You end up having to use this joint, but that's just floppy. Ends up pulling this. Actually, it just came out. Ends up pulling this off. Very frustrating to deal with that kind of stuff. And then this foot, the fact that if you try to articulate this foot, you can see I always had him in this chicken leg pose. Well, that's because if you try to put him in any other pose, the foot fails. Because you got to have it plugged in, and he can only really get in that pose. Maybe somebody like T-Man could get this into a really cool pose, but for me, it's very frustrating to pose this guy. He just doesn't want to cooperate. He's constantly fighting you as you're trying to pose him because these feet, and you can see he's still leaning back. You can get him balanced, you can get him posed, but he just fights you. And it's those feet. It's really the feet that are causing the issue. Hands down, that's the problem. Now, with that being said, I can't stand the movie design, so I'm not taking that into account here. The fact that he looks like the movie, he looks exactly like the movie, there's no doubt in my mind, right? He's perfectly recreating that, and that's great. I think they did a great job with that. Me personally, though, I hate the movie designs. I hate the way this looks. It looks like a robot chicken to me. So I would never purchase the movie Masterpiece series, any of them really. But my buddy Ultra Jazz, he's going to collect this line. I guess he's collecting this. So for people that enjoy the Masterpiece movie series, this is going to fit in well with your other Masterpiece movie figures. And it's going to look very, very much the part. So if you need a Starscream in your movie Masterpiece collection, this is it, right? This is the one to have. Just watch out for the little issues I talked about, the ankles, the shoulders, and the just loose panels and stuff like that. So that's really it for this review. I just wanted to show you what I got here. Thank you, Ultra Jazz, for sending this to me. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.